Namaskara, Swagatam. Adya Budhavasarah. Prathamataha Mangalacharanam. Ramo Rajamanis Sada Vijayate. Ramam Ramesham Bhaje. Ramena Bhiyata Nishacharachamo Ramaya Tasmai Namaha. Raman Nasti Paranam Parataram Ramasya Dasosmyaham. Rame Chittale Sada Bhutme Bhoramama Buddhara. Rama Rameti Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattalyam Rama Nama Varadane Shri Rama Nama Varadana Undama Iti Atha Shri Maheshwara Sutrani Ayun Rulruk Eong Ayauch Ayavarat Lan Nyam Na Nam Jabain Gardadash Jabagardadash Kapha Chacha Thacha Tatav Kapaisha Sha Sarhal. Iti Mahashya Sutrani. Today is the 7th of March, Saptamo Dinankaha. This is again the Ramayanasya. This is the Ayodhya Kandam. So we are doing the Ekonatrimshaha Sargaha, Ekonatrimshaha, which is 29th chapter of the Ramayanam Sargaha. The good news is that now we have the Gita Press translation, we also have the commentaries, and we also can practice all the Vyakaranam which we have done. We got started last time, so we are right now on the book. We are on page 150. So on the book page 150. So we did last time we read the Prathama Shlokaha. Etattu vachanam shrutva Sita Ramasya dukkhita prasakta shrumukhi mandam idam vachanam abravit. Now one thing which you always say is the first thing try to put a cheda, which is etattu vachanam shrutva Sita Ramasya dukkhita. Now here we have a choice which we discussed in the class last time. We can make it as a ekam samastam padam. We make it prasakta shrumukhi, which is what one of the commentators has done. Or we can take it as prasakta and then separate pruthak padam is ashrumukhi. Prasakta then ashrumukhi. So we'll take it both ways. That's one thing is to remember is that Padacheda is not cast in stone. There are some choices. So here we have a choice. Prasakta, Pruthak Padam is a Visheshanam for Sita, and Ashrumukhi, another Visheshanam for Sita. Otherwise, make it Prasakta Ashrumukhi as single Samasa Visheshanam for Sita. Then Mandam, Idam, Vachanam, Abravit. Now, Abravit form we have seen many times in the daily examples. It's a lung lakara. First thing you want to attack is a Tingantam Padam. Is make that, because then you know what the action is going on. Then you can look for the karta and then the karma, if any, and then build a sentence from there. So that is the heart of the sentence which you have been seeing all along. So Tingantam Padam is Abravit. So Abravit means said. And clearly Sita Vachanam Abravit. So you got the basic sentence. That Sita said, and as I said in Samskritam they don't say the following words. Idam means Vakshamanam. Idam. So it is that Nimna Likitam, written below, given below. So the following, so Vachanam Abravit. Now, Abravit is from the dhatu bru, Vyaktayam Vachi, which we have studied. So it's in the Adadikanaha. So the dhatu here is bru dhatu. And it's Salang Lakaraha, you see the Ad Agamaha coming over there, Ad Agamaha. So, and you see the ending by the Takara by Itashcha. In fact, I think we have done this form, Abravit, in the daily example. So here is Bru Vyaktayam Vachi. Vyaktayam is coherent speech, not some noise. Understandable speech, something we can understand. So Vyaktayam Vachi. This is Abravit, and of course it's the Adadi Ganaha. So when the Shap Pratyaya comes, first of all you get Bru plus Lang, then Anubandha Lopaha, Bru plus Tip, Anubandha Lopaha, Bru plus Ti, then Itashcha 3, 4, 100. In fact, you know what, let me, I think I showed in the class last time already. So if you look at the Abravit, there must be a Abravit, let me try. Abravit. Yeah, Bravit. Already we looked at the steps in the last class, but let me put it up again. Abravit. There might be a post abravit also, because comes in Gita, Raja Vachanam Abravit. Vashyetam Panduputranam. In the very beginning of Gita, Raja Vachanam Abravit. So we can look at here. Let's see. Raja Vachanam Abravit. Okay, here's the dhatu Bru, Vyaktayam Vachi, and then Anadyatane Lang. Now, as I said, Anadyatane Lang, technically this should be Parokshe lit, right? Shouldn't be. But this distance between lit, this Parokshe, and all this Anadyatane is not 100% honored. The good thing now is that, well, good thing or difficult thing, which you look at it, is now we're reading Ramayanam. This is not a Vyakarana Grantha. So that means that there will be a lot of times we have to make some adjustments. We have to understand. It's good to know what the theory says, but in real life, we have to make some allowances. So because we have, what did we have? We have the Swadikara Bhute start from 3 to 84. In that, Panini first gives the pratyaya lung. Bhute, Panini prescribes lung. But then Anadyatane lung. This is clear. Anadyatane was Valmiki's writing. So this is Anadyatane lung. And then, but Parokshe lit. So now assuming that Valmiki has not directly experienced this action, it should have been Uvacha should have been used. Because don't forget one more thing is that the dhatu Bru takes the Bruva Vachihi, the Vacha Adesha, Ardha Dhatu Ke, because Ardha Dhatu Ke, so if you bring lit lakara after Bru, it will become Uvacha. It will become Uvacha because of Bruva Vachihi over here, which also we have studied. So anyway, right now lung is being used, so don't expect this Parokshe and all this Anidyatane to be 100% fit. There will be some times when you have to make some allowances. So like in Gita, Raja Vachanam Abravit. If there is Parokshe, it should not be an Abravit. So Parokshe doesn't mean all the time. Anubandha Lopaha, La, and then Tiptashji, because the Kartri is Sita. Pratham Purusha Ekvacham Pratyaya Tip, the Anubandha Lopaha, Halantyam, then Itashcha. This is a Nyat Lakaraha. Parasyapada Pratyayaha, the ending Ikara takes Lopaha. And then Kartari Shap, and Adiprabritibhya Shapaha, Shapluk, because this is Adadi Ganaha. And then comes Bruva Eat. So Bruva Eat, so Bruvaha Eat, when preceded by a verbal root, Sarvadhataka Pratyaha, which is Haladi and Pitta. So Sarvadhataka Pratyaha, which is Haladi and Pitta. If you look at Bruva Eat, 7.3, 73, Bruva Eat, 7.373 is Bruva Eat. No, 7.393 is Bruva Eat. And there comes the Hali, Piti, Sarvadhatuke. So Pratyaya form should be Sarvadhatuka Pratyaya, which is a Pit Pratyaya. Right now we have Tip as a Pratyaya, should be Haladi. And then, so when preceded by a verbal root, a Pratyaya which is Sarvadhatuka Pratyaya, which is Haladi, and is a Pit, takes Idagamaha. I'm sorry, then of course Adyanto Takito Anubandha Lopaha. Then we get Sarvadhataka, Ardhadhataka Yoho, Gunadeshaha, Echo Yava Yavaha, then Ad Agamaha, Lungang Shmudadataha, Adyanto Takito and Anubandha Lopas, Abravi. So all these forms already practiced by us, so that's the good news. So Sita Vachanam Abravit. Now she had the word Shrutva here, which also we have seen repeatedly in the class. 3.4.21 says Samanakritikayoho Purvakale Pratyaktva Samanakritikayoho Purvakale. So you should try to spot that one immediately. So if you know, now we know Sita is a Kartri or the Uttaravartini Kriya, which is the Vachana Kriya. So then she must be the same doer of the prior Kriya. Because Samanakritikayoho, that's the important thing here. Samanakritikayoho Purvakale. So it's the same doer of both the actions. So, and the prior action, the verb denoting the prior action, the verbal root takes Pratyaktva. So having heard something, Sita said the following words. And then Vachanam Shutva, having heard these words. I mean, this is connecting with the prior Sarga. At the end of the last Sarga, Sri Rama has advising us to stay in Ayodhya and not come with him. So that words means Etat. So Etat Vachanam Shutva. And two is, now because we are changing the scene, right? Because Sri Rama said something to her. Now she's replying. So the two is like a, break in the speaker now. So on the other hand, on this side kind of. So Sita, so tu is an avyayam, and look at the connecting word will come one word later than you expect in English. So Sita for her part, having heard, and this Ramasya Shashti now. The Shashti is only Sambandha Shashti that we can leave out for time being, but clearly it's Ramasya Vachanam Shrutva. This is what makes the language so powerful, because Ramasya Shashti, in English you could not say this. On the other hand, speech, having heard Sita of Rama and then sad. So you cannot make this kind of sentence in English. But the vibhaktis give that flexibility to jumble up the words. Then you can have Ramayanam and things like that with 24,000 verses. It's hard to compose these verses, because that's why we have these vibhaktis, so that we can compose these shlokas without, being too tightly constrained. The vibhaktis tell you the connections. So Ramasya Shashti is because Shashti Sheshe means Sambandha. It connects with the Vachanam. So far we have Sita tu Ramasya etat Vachanam Shrutva idam Vachanam abravit. She said the following words. So Sita has a couple of adjectives. She has Dukkhita and then Prasakta Shrumukhi. This we did in the class last time. Is we said that there are two ways to look at this. Is one thing we can, first of all, Dukkhita. One of the ways to decipher this word is Dukkham Sanjatam Asyaha Dukkhita. Sanjata Dukkha. So she is one for which sadness has appeared. In English we basically say sad. That's what it means. Like, this is the Tarakadibhya Itach. We've seen this sutram before many times. Like Tarakitam Nabhaha means it's a starry sky. Pushpito Vrikshaha means that it is a tree which has flowered. Same thing. Phalita Udyamaha. It is an effort undertaking whose fruit has appeared. Fruitful effort. Same thing here. Dukkham Sanjatam Masyaha Dukkhita. So this Itach Pratyaya. This almost looks like a Nishtha Pratyaya, doesn't it? But there is a noun behind it. Dukkha, like Pushpita, Phalita, Tarakita, Sanyata in Gita, Sanyata. So Dukkhita. So here, now what happens is that Dukkham Sanjatam Masyaha. So Dukkha plus Su Pratyaya Itach by Tadasya Sanjatam means for him. And connecting with that somebody, this has appeared. So Yatam, it has arisen. So Tarakadibhya, this is Akriti Ganaha. So these Tarakadi words, they take the Pratyaya Itach. It's an expandable list. When that is the item that has arisen, that has appeared for something, for someone or something. Dukkha Stu plus Itach. Then the Prakriya is as usual, Hanantyam Tasya Lopaha. Then the Samudaya gets the Pratipadik Sanya because Krita Dita Samasascha. Of course, don't forget all Adhikaras. The Dita Adhikara goes from, the Ditaha goes from 4176, end of chapter 5. This is 5236. So this Samudaya will get a Sanya of Pratipadikam. And then we get the Supodhatu Pratipadikayoho. Meanwhile, Angam gets the Bhasanya, which you repeated many times, that when you are Tadita Pratyaha, Angam gets the Bhasanya or the Padasanya by Swadesh Sarvanamasthane, because Swadesh includes all the Tadita Pratyas and Si Pratyas in addition to the Sup Pratyas. So Swadi goes from 412 to end of chapter 5. So Angam gets the Bhasanya, then Yasyetya, which we use repeatedly, which is that Ivarnantasya Bhasya Lopovoti Tadita Ikare Chapare. This is the Varnanta Mangam, and we get Lopaha Alontyasya become Dukkhita. Of course, in the feminine we make it add the Pratyaya top on top, they say, and Anubandha Lopaha Akasama Dirgha Dukkhita. And now we also did this last time. We can make this a single compound. Prasaktani Ashruni Yasmin. I'm sorry, typo. If you see any typo, let me know. Yasmin. Prasaktashru Mukham. So it is first make this compound with Mukham. It is that. So it is a face. Sanj dhatu sanj means to be attached. So in which the tears are kind of clinging, attached. It's a face. It's a teary face in English. So prasaktani ashruni yasmin prasaktashru mukham. So make it a bahuvri compound. Of course, saptami visheshane bahuvrihav. Visheshanam goes prior. And then make prasakta shru mukham yasyaha prasakta shru mukhi. So then she is one who has this face which has tears attached to it. Tears attached to it like that. We can make it like that. Only thing is, when we make it a feminine form, we have to use 4154. 4154. Like Chandramukhi, something like so. 4154 says that Swanga chopasarjanad asanyago padat. Swanga, if you have a, this is in the adhikar of striyam. So if you have a pradipadikam, because we are adhikar of nya pradipadikat. Nya pradipadika. So pradipadikam ending in a swangavachi shabdaha. In this case it is mukha. And then upasarjana, because bahuvrihi sarvopasarjano bahuvrihi. Sarvopasarjano bahuvrihi. So, and then asanyago padhat. The upadha should not be a sanyukta vyanjanam. In this case it is not, because mukha is only a kakaraha. Then we get the, there is the anuvritti coming here of here. Some niche is coming here. And then vasyat, niche vasyat. So one more time, if you have, we've done this sutram in the class. In fact, if you want to look at, let me just quickly look at it. We have done 4154. 4154. We should find it here somewhere. So find it here. I'm sorry. We did bahuvri compounds. See, all these now, this document has all these things. So here it is. Here it is. Asanyago padham upasarjanam yat swangam. It should be upasarjanam because bahuvri compound, again sarvo upasarjano bahuvrihi. Asanyago padham. The upadha should not have a sanyoga. Yat swangam. It should be a body. It's a word denoting a body part. Tadantad. Adantat should be adantam also. Nish vasyat. But niche optionally. So in this case, we'll get prasakta shrumukha, prasakta shrumukhi. So because, so here it is. So sukesha, so shobhanaha keshaha yasyaha, so becomes sukesha, sukeshi. Now when we say in our case, prasakta shru, then we'll make it prasakta shru plus su plus mukha plus su. And then what happens is that when we add the pratyaya nish, we get prasakta shrumukha plus e. I mean, andubandha lope by vishakvatadite halantyam. In the same thing, angam gets the bhasanya. Because don't forget, the si pratyaya also included in the swadi. Angam gets the bhasanya, then yasyeti cha alontyasya, and prasakta shrumukhi. So when we add a si pratyaya, also remember angam will get the bhasanya. The pratyaya is ajadi or yakaradi. So that's what gives us the form prasakta shrumukhi. Or what you can say is that make prasakta as a separate word. So rame prasakta, she was attached to ramaha. And we say ashru yuktam, and you say ashru yuktam atva ashrubhi vyaptam mukham yasyaha sa ashrumukhi. So it's the same thing, but just to make ashrumukhi as a pruthak padam. You supply something between ashru yuktam, ashru vyaptam mukham yasyaha sa. If you look at the, so now what happens is that the translation then becomes, then mandam. Mandam is slow, gentle, soft. So now as I said to you, this mandam could be a visheshanam for vachanam. She said the following soft words. Or she said the following words gently. Also one more thing which she said is there is a vartikam on 2418. In fact, last time in the class I was joking that it's a good connection because we just finished the Avyabhava Prakaranam, and at that time we looked at the Sutram Avyabhavascha. Avyabhavascha 2418. The Vartikam there is Kriya Visheshananam Klibateshyate and Karmattam cha. Means that these adverbs will be in the neuter and also be get the Karma Sanya. Again, Karmani Dvitiya. So this could be an adverb. It could be an adverb to Dhatu Bru. So she said the following words gently, or she said the following soft, gentle words. If you look at the Gita Press translation, what they say is that distressed means dukkhita. one thing very wonderful is that I'm glad this exercise has come today, is that if you just read the Gita Press Ramayanam, of course after Gita, there are 24,000 verses, and every single word, of course there might be some typos here and there, but very few, has been translated faithfully. This is a wonderful way to learn Vyakaranam with the grace of Sri Rama and without having to sweat too much. And you will, like as I said, Valmiki says also that Vak Patuttam, so we become Vak Rishabha, you become a master of speech. So with the help of, with the grace of Gita Press also, and because every word is faithfully translated, so you can take it slowly, gently, and every time you read more and more, it's interesting in a way. It's a gentle way to learn Vyakaranam. And then as you notice the forms coming over and over again, you can investigate further, but just get a feel for the language, see how the words are used. Of course, Ramayanam will also have its own share of Arsha Prayogaha, but it doesn't matter. So this is a wonderful way to learn Vyakaranam. After 24,000 shlokas, you'll be fearless. Literally, you'll be fearless of this language. You know, this fear of Sanskritam will be gone. The main thing is people are afraid of Sanskritam. They don't want to look at it. But Ramayanam will remove that fear for you. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. And again, this Gita Press translation is really outstanding. Really, really outstanding. So here's what they say. Distressed is dukkhita. To hear means having heard, shutva. This is etat. Plea. Plea means these words, this request. So vachanam. See, they don't translate vachanam the same all the time. Vachanam means it's a request or a plea. Ramasya of Sri Ramaha. Then Sita is Sita. For her part means two. On the other hand, now on this side, is Sita, who was deeply attached to the latter. And so they have taken prasakta as a prathak padam. So Rame prasakta. So Prakarshena sakta. So she was attached. Dhatu Sanja, attached to the latter. Ashtumukhi. Gently is the mandam is an adverb. Spoke abravit. As follows is the idam. See, you learn how to translate. This is you learn how to translate now. Because idam means you can say these words, but it really means the following words. So these are all the subtleties you'll pick out when you read the Gita Press translation. So, as follows means idam. Then her face wet with tears. Ashumukhi. One thing I did not put in the document is dhatu sanj. So what happens here is a sanj. When you add first of all you add the pratyakta. It's a pratyakta. Now there are a few things going on here. Is that again we can't take every word in the class, but what's happening here is that prasaktaha, they're attached, to be attached. So prasaktaha means that it is a kartri prayogaha. So this is the sutram which we have seen repeatedly, is 3472, because normally we have kartari krit, then you have tayoreva pratyakta, kadarthaha pratyakta is in the passive, but if you have dhatu in one of these senses, which is gatyartha akarmaka, then it can be in the active, in this case akarmaka, to be attached. So akarmaka dhatu, and then not only this dhatu, also we have seen that this dhatu sanj is anudattu padeshaha. Udattu padeshaha, because if you look at, so you get the in nishedha. So you can take this for homework. I said we cannot take every form in the class, but we have done enough Vyakaranam now to go into these forms, although it will take a long time to do every form. So we see in the Janteshu, Tyaja, Nijar, Bhaja, Bhanja, Bhuja, Bhrashja, Mashja, Yaja, Yuja, Ruja, Ranja, Vijara, Swanja, Sanja. This is the Dhatu Sanja, means to attached. To be attached. So of course comes in Gita a number of places. So then Sanja Praskta, when you take a Lubandha Lope, Shakvatadite, Tasya Lopaha, then this is actually a Nakaraha. It's actually a Nakaraha in the Dhatu Patha really. Only when we get to the Tripadi section and after we do this Toshchunashchuhu, after Shtutvam we get the Chavarka Panchamaha, it's a Nakaraha. Then what happens is that we use 6424. 6424. Nujitam halopradaya kiniti takes nakar lopaha. After that we get chuho kuho jalipadanti and kharicha. So one more time dhatu is sanja, which is this dhatu over here. Sanja sange. And then we have the pratyakta. In this case, it is used active, 3472. Anubandha lopa lashakvatadjite. Then nakara lopaha. Upadha nakara lopaha by 6424. Anuditam halupadaya kiniti. Then in Tripadi section, chohakuho and karichoho. Sakta. So that's the first sloka. Now, next sloka is that ye toya kirtita dosha vane vastavyatam prati gunanityeva tan vidhi tava sneha puraskruta. There's a typo here. I think it should be puraskruta. I don't see any puraskruta. One thing in Ramayana you'll see a lot of Pataveda, but there is a very nice set of books which is, I think, the old Gujarati press of Mumbai, where they had published this Ramayana with the 3 tikas of Tilaka of Rama and the Shiromani of Ramana, Shiromani and Bhushana. It's a nice set available from Parimal Publications. They republished that, Parimal Publications. So if you want, you can get that set. I think also the Kanpur IIT site, I think, has also the one or two tikas are there online. So those are also there. So there'll be, what I'm saying is there'll be some Patha Vedas. So one thing about these tikas is that they select which Patha they want to follow. And particularly Govinda Rajaha, which is the Bhushana Tika, he takes a lot of different Pathas. To be honestly, I think they have been edited to fit Vyakaranam better. So I don't see, I'll double check, I don't see Prasaktaha, Puraskrutaha. I think that's just a typo. Just, yeah, no, I see it. I think it's a typo. So anyway, so we'll take it as a typo. It says, ye toya kichita dosha vane vastavyatam prati gunanityevatan vidhi tava sneha puraskruta. Padacheda is ye toya kirtitaha. So here, kirtitaha. So bho bhago agho apurasya yoshi. And then, so first of all, we have kirtitas and sasajusho ruho. And bho bhago agho apurasya yoshi. Then halisarvesham. So these are the rules. Now I hope you're practicing them. Now you've been in the class for long enough, so you should start teaching them to somebody. So first of all, we get sasajusho ruho, of course, and then we get the 8317 bho bhago agho apurvasya, avarnapurvasya, and then yakara desha ashi. So what we have here is the kirtitas plus doshaha, so dakara is the ash, and then we get halisarvesham, yakara takes lopaha, halisarvesham. Same thing here, doshaha plus vane, so kirtitaha doshaha vane vastavyatam prati gunan iti eva tan vidhi then tava sneha puraskruta. Okay, now this Tingantam Padam is vidhi. Comes in Gita. Avinashi tad vidhi yena sarvvidantatam vinashamu vyasyasena kaschit kartamarhati antavanta ime deha nityasyokta shariraha. Gita should be always in. Whenever we see a word which is in the Gita, the good thing from Vyakarana standpoint is that once you find the word in the Gita, there are many commentaries available. You can read those commentaries and you can understand the word better. So avinashi tad vidhi, it comes in many places. I think avinashi tad vidhi yena sarvam vidantatam. So that by which all this is pervaded. Know that to be avinashi, indestructible, tad vidhi. So vidhi means it is madhya purusha ekavachanam lot lakaraha of dhatu vid jnane. Vida comes in 5 ganas. One of them is most famous, vida jnane. So you add the pratyaya lot, anubandha lopaha. You get the pratyaya sip, saparasmipadi dhatu, and serya picha. See, I said to you, tiptas G are only defaults. You have to see if any further sutram from that. So it says lot along with serya picha. Just the hi adeshaha. Then hu jalbhyo he dhihi. In the meanwhile, we get kartarishap Adiprapradibhya shapaha. It's in the Adadi Ganaha. So in Adadi Ganaha means by 2472. Adiprapradibhya shapaha. And then we get Hujalbhyo Herdhi. Hujalbhyo Herdhi. Hujalbhyo Herdhi. Hujalbhyo Herdhi. Hujalbhyo Herdhi. Here it is, Hujalbhyo Herdhi. So we have a Jalantam which is with, then the following the dhatu hu or a Jalantamangam, the he becomes dhi adesha. So with dhi. So this is not a sandhi operation. Sandhi operation also we could have used, but that's in the Tripadi section. We have the sutram Jayoho Anyatarasyam, but that will only give Anyatarasyam, will give two forms. But even before we get to Tripadi section, we have to finish off the operation Sapada Saptadhyay section, and there is sutram Hu Jalbhyo Herdhi. So with plus he becomes vidhi by Hu Jalbhyo Herdhi 6411. Subject has to be Yushmad only, because Madhyam Purusha can be used when? Only Yushmad Jipapade, Samadhikarane, Sananyapi Madhyamaha. This is 14105. So all these basic rules, Yushmad Jipapade. So this has to be in connection with Yushmad only. Samadhikarane, Saninyapi, even though if it's not mentioned, Madhyamaha. Right now what do we have? We have Sitvam may not be here. In the Sitvam is not here. Saninyapi. It's understood. We get the Madhyamaha. So this is Tvam Vidhi. So you understand. Understand what? Tan. You understand those. Which are those? Ye tvaya kirtitaha doshaha. So those defects, those problems, those shortcomings which have been narrated by you. You understand those to be what? Gunan iti eva. Nothing but actually blessings in disguise. Good qualities. Good qualities. Gunan. So this Gunan is in the quotation. Gunan iti eva tan vidhi. Tan vidhi. Now, one more thing is that, so far what do we have? Those shortcomings or problems or defects which were narrated by you, you understand them, you know them to be nothing more, nothing other than actually good qualities. So there are things to be desired. Now, one thing is there, Vane Vastavyatam Prati. This word Vastavyatam is a bit of a, what should I say, kind of a not so difficult word. Clumsy is a word. Clumsy. It's a bit of a irregular construct. It is clumsy word to think about. But this is Ramayanam. Ramayanam, you will not find everything very easy. There will be a number. In fact, there's a book. I have a book with me. Somebody wrote a book about Ramayanam. All the linguistic forms of Ramayanam. So wherever Valmiki, bends. We don't know whether Valmiki came before Panini or Panini came after Valmiki, whatever it is. There are a number of words in Ramayanam which don't follow the Panini Vyakaranam. Okay, so Gita is very Panini friendly. Ramayanam is not. Ramayanam is also about same level as of Vyakaranam, but there are a lot of these usages which you have to get used to. So there are these words like Vastavyata. Simply one thing that you can do, when you see a word like that, that you can, it's a little bit clumsy, we'll go through it anyway, but you can use the tika. Vastavyatam is Vasam Prati. Vasam Prati. Vasam Prati. So just take it as Vasam. So if you don't want to mess with this word, just look at the commentary and take it as Vasam. So all the commentaries taken as Vasam, means residence. Residence. Now Prati, in fact, is also good connection. We were just studying that Karma Pravachaniyaha. We just got done with that. So when this Pradayaha are used on their own without the mention of a dhatu with them, then they get this karma pravachaniya. Some of these paradayahas can be used in certain meanings on their own. So this kriya sambandham vina, without a connection with the dhatu. And one of them is pari. And we looked at the sutram recently. Lakshane tham bhutakhyana bhaga vipsasu prati paryanavaha pratyagni Shalabha patanti means towards targeting with that as a subject matter, with that as a focus, with that as a focus. So we can take prati, and then what happens in prati, so we can say lakshana ittam bhuta, lakshana. Lakshana means with that as the focus. So focusing on that, targeting that, with that as the goal. Now, then what happens is that, which also we saw when we were doing the Vibhava Samasaha, we looked at this sutram, which is Karma Pravachaniya Yukte Dvitiya. So here what we have is that, so along with 238, you give Dvitiya Vibhakti. Ultimately, any Vibhakti assignment has to be made in 2.3, something which we have also shared many times. So here what we can do is that we can use this one, I think, Lakshanettam Bhuta Lakshanettam Bhutakhyan Bhagavipsasu Prati Pari Anu Prati Pariyanavaha. And then 238. So Vane Vastavyatam Prati, with regard to, regarding, this we say regarding residence in the forest, those defects which will be narrated by you, understand them to be nothing more than actually good qualities. And now this thing is hanging over here, Tava Sneha Puraskrita. You have to supply something here. Supply Yatohi. Yatohi, if you look at the commentary, says that, in fact, let me read the commentary. Yato aham Tava Snehena Puraskrita Tava Nishtha Sneha Vishaya. You have to supply because supply because I have been honored by your affection. So Snehena Puraskrita is Tava Snehena Puraskrita is Anena Tvat Sneha Vishayasya Dosha Padartho Nakopi iti Bhavaha. So there is nothing for one who is loved by you, one who has your affection. There is nothing like a shortcoming for him. That's what is mentioned here. Anyway, we have to supply something here. Okay, say for I am one who has your affection. You simply say has your affection or has been honored by your love. You know, look at Gita Press, what they say is that the disadvantages, which is doshaha, that is ye, have been enumerated, is kirtitaha, by you is tvaya, as accruing from, I think that's probably prati, as accruing from is prati, with regard to, and aboard is this vastavyatam. In the forest is vane of them. No is vidhi. You know. Them is tan. Know them, tan. To be is that iti. Blessings is gunan. Into bracket, in disguise. In view of the fact that, this is in brackets now, this is the thing you have to supply. Yatohi, because in view of the fact that I am foremost in your affections. Tava snehena puraskrita. Now one thing is that this tava should be inside the compound, it should be tvat sneha puraskrita. Because tava is connecting with sneha, which is the pura padam of the compound. It should not connecting with the entire compound. It is something outside the compound. You should connect with the meaning of the entire compound, not with a ekadesha, with a part of the compound. But here what is they say is that sapekshatvepi, there's an apeksha here between tava and sneha. Sapekshatve, sneha has a connection with tava. But sapekshatvepi gamakatvat samasaha, which means that the compound is formed because obvious. Is obvious connection is there. Then we can make this kind of a, and then in the Bhagavad Gita is my favorite example, which I think given in the class a few times, is that Bhishma Drona Pramukataha Sarve Shancha Mahikshitam Uvacha Partha Pashyitan Samavetan Kuru Niti Tatra Pashyasthitan Pataha Pitrunta Pitamahan. Here it says Sapastapya Michita Asanjavacha. Here it says Bhishma Drona Pramukataha Sarve Shancha Mahikshitam. Look at him. Sarveshancha mahikshitam. And of all the kings, rulers of the earth. Where's the connection here? He's Pramukhataha. Now Pramukhata is inside the compound, isn't it? Now how can we take Pramukhata from out of here, connect it with that? This is a classic example in Gita where the Sarveshancha mahikshitam is hanging outside. It's a Shashti. We have to make a connection somewhere. And here we have Bhishma Drona Pramukhataha in front of Bhishma and Drona, right in front of them. And in front of all the rulers of the earth. So this Pramukhataha is, this is Sapekshatvepi, Gamakatvat Samasaha. So you should say, you should have Bhishma Drona Yoho, Sarveshancha mahikshitam Pramukhataha. But instead you put a compound here. That is okay because Gamakatva. Gamakam is it leads you to that. It leads you to that. So it's an obvious connection. So this happens a lot. This happens a lot. You have to be used to that. Is that something which is technically should be inside the compound, be placed outside. So Tava should be Tvat Sneha Puraskritaham. Okay, let's do some Vyakaranam here. Let's look at some, I put some points in, as I said, we cannot take all the points in the class, but let's look at some points here. First is the Dhatu Krut. This Dhatu Krut is a rare Dhatu. It is Upadha Rukaraha. So it is Rudupadha. It is a Viralaha Dhatu, rare Dhatu. So that is in the Churadi Ganaha, Dhatu Krut. Look at this, if you look at Dhatu Pataha, it's in the Churadi Ganaha, this Dhatu Krut. It's actually a famous Dhatu. Shatatam Kirtayanto Mam comes in Gita. Tantashadram Vrataha. Namaskyantashamam Bhaktya Nitya Yukta Upasate. So Bhagavad Gita has all these dhatus. So Dhatu Krut. Here it is, Churadiganaha. Some shabdane means to narrate, to praise, to relate, to describe. So Krut plus, this is just I copied this from a document, as you can see. This from a Saturday class. So when you add this pratyaya nich by Churadibhyo swate nich, Anubandha lopaha chutu halantim tasya lopaha. Then comes this Anuji's favorite sutram, which is Rute dhatoho. But that's if a Rukara is at the end of a dhatuho. Rute dhatoho. The next sutram is this one, this 71101. 711. The only example of the sutram 711 is Dhatu Krut. This Dhatu Krut is probably the only example for this sutram. This 71101. It says that Upadhayascha. So Rukara for Dhatu, which is Upadha for Dhatu, that takes the Ikara desha. So Ruta Dhatu. Of course, there are many Dhatus which end in the Rukara. But to have Upadha as a Rukara, this could be this is the rare one. Upadhayascha. So by that what happens is that we get the Ikara desha and then becomes Uran Raparaha, and then we get Upadhayancha. another confusing rule kind of, because we already seen Halicha Sutram. First of all, let's start from 8276. Ror Upadhaya Dirgha Ikaha. But Dhatu ending in a Vakara or Repaha, which is a Padantaha. And then the Upadha takes the Dirgha, Upadha, the Ik, which is Upadha takes the Dirgha Deshaha. Then comes Halicha. So if you have a Dhatu ending in a Vakara or a Repaha, and the Upadha Ik takes Dirgha Desha, if a Hal letter follows. Then Upadhayancha. So that means that if you have a Dhatu with the Upadha as a Repa or Vakaraha, then the Ik prior to that takes a Dirgha Adesha followed by a Hal letter. So it's an interesting set of rules here. Is Ror Upadhaya Dirgha Ikaha. This is called Dhatu ending in a Vakara or Repa, which is Padanta. Then the Upadha Ik, the prior Ik takes Dirgha Adesha. Halicha says same condition. Dhatu ending in Vakara or Repa followed by a Hal. Upadha Ik takes Dirgha Adesha. Upadhayancha says that if you have a Dhatu with Upadha of Vakara Repaha followed by a Hal, then the prior Ik, the Ik which is prior to that Repa or Vakaraha, takes the Dirgha Adesha. So here what do we have? We have Kir, this is the Repa of a Dhatu. Dhatu is Kirt. So this is the Repa as Upadha for Dhatu. is followed by a hal, then the prarik takes a dirghadesha, becomes kirti. Now kirti is a dhatu sanya sanadyanta dhatavaha, we have the pratyak ta, this is anekash dhatu. Idagama cannot be stopped by 7 to 10 because 7 to 10 says ekach upadeshana dattat. This is anekach. So then we will meet anubandha lopaha, yashakvatadhyate, and then tasya lopaha, and then ardhatukasya maladehe, adyantakitao. I mean, I haven't put all the steps, but adyantakitao, anubandha lopaha, and then comes nishtayam seti, 6452, because 6451 says niraniti, anirada vardhatuke pare ne lopasyat, then nishtayam seti. Nishpatya is followed by a nishtha, which is with the iragamaha, set nishtha. Then nish takes lopaha, so kirtataha. Comes in Gita, mohitan nabhijanati, so mohitam, so that comes in Gita, mohita. Okay, so this is how the word kirtita comes, kirtita, and then of course kirtitaha, this is an adjective, so kirtitaha doshaha. If we quickly look at the sutras 8 to 76, 77, 78, what we have is that Rorpadaya Dirgha says that Refa Vantayor Dhatvoho Upadhaya Iko Dirgha Padante. That's 8 to 76. 8 to 77 says that Refa Vantasya again, ending in Refa or Vakara, Dhatoho Upadhaya Iko Dirgha Hali. And then comes Upadhayansha, which says that, okay, this is, we don't have the vritti here. It says that Upadhayansha says, Dhatoho Upada Bhutau, Yo Refa Vakaro, Hal Parau. Dhatu with Upadha is a Refa or Vakara, followed by a Hal. Tayoho Upadhayaha Ikaha Dirgha. The Prarik takes Dirgha. So what we have here is that we have the Kir. The upadha, the repaha, followed by a hal, preceded by ik, takes dirghadesha. Now vastavyatam. Now first of all, we just talked about that, how it got the dvitiya vibhakti because of this prati getting the sanya of karma pravachaniya by 1490, lakshanitam bhuta ityadi, and then by karma pravachaniya yukte dvitiya. So 1490 get the karma pravachaniya sanya, and then 238 it says karma pravachaniya yukte dvitiya. Now this question about vastavyatam. Okay, now this tavyat pratyaha, tavyat. See, Panini starts, as soon as Panini starts his adhikara of the thing from 3193, then the first section he takes what we call as participles. This is a section of krityaha. Krityaha prang nulaha. Krityaha prang nulaha. Pratyar nul. This comes down here. Nul trichau. Nul trichau. So up to this, which means up to 31132, starting from 3195 to 31132, is this krityaha. See, kritya itself is a krityaha. See, in the old grammarians, whichever form the dhatu kru took, that became the generic name for that class. So in this case, it is kritya is a kritya pratyaya. So it means that it's a kartum yogyam uchitam va krityam, which is what we call potential participles. Now, and there comes the tavya, so tavya niyaraha. So tavyat and tavya is only this swarabheda. So tavya, basically tavya and aniyar are used, and then there's also the three yakaras over here, ya shabda I should say. So yat, acho yat, and ruhol or nyat and kyap. So basically there are three pratyas, tavya, aniyar, and ya. But that ya comes in three varieties. Either it is yat, or it is kyap, or it is nyat, ruhal or nyat, ruhal or nyat. So right now we are pratyat tavya. Tavya. Now vastavya, first of all, always let's not forget our sutram regarding the idagamaha. So by 7.3.10 is dhatu vas anudatupadesha. That's why we spent the whole class on this sutram, because you need a sutram all the time. Anytime you have pratyaya which is sanya of ardhatukam, which is valadi, we have to decide whether we should do the idagama or not. So ekachupadesha anudatta, so this vas Santeshu ghasvasati dvau. Santeshu ghasvasati dvau. This dhatu vas of the Vadiganaha means to dwell is a Anudatta Upadesha. So he gets the 7 to 10. Eka Upadesha Anudatta does the in Nishedha. So that Vastavya. Now in what meaning is this used? Is that it can be used only Bhava Karmanoho, because back to Sutram which we just saw in the class today. Normally Kartari Krit, but then we have Tayoreva Kritya Kita Kadarthaha. So Kritya Pratyaya is only in the passive. So, and this is Akarmaka Dhatu. Let's say Vane Vasati, Grihe Vasati, Girau Vasati, which means you can't say Girim Vasati. So then it can be only mean, we can only bhava, so it can be bhave. So vastavyam, it is to be dwelt. So maya atra vastavyam means in English you say I should stay here. So vastavyam, it is to be stayed. It is that the action of staying is to be done. How about that? The action of staying is to be done. In English it's by me. So maya vastavyam. Asmabhir atrana vastavyam. We should not stay here. So that is the vastavyam, because akarmaka dhatu ho. It can come bhavi, because it's bhava karmano ho. Tayor means from the prasutram bhave and karmani. So tayor means bhava karmano ho. So this is akarmaka dhatu, so means bhave. Bhave means that the action is fit to be done. So we say the action of staying is fit to be done by me or by us, whatever it might be. Now, if you take that meaning, then on top of that, we have the pratyaya, which is tal. So there we have vastavyatam. Vastavyatam is dvitiya vibhakti. Padviti is vastavyata. We talked about dvitiya because of prati. We have dvitiya over here. So vastavyata. Now what is that? Of course, with that we know, like murkhata, mudhata, guruta, laghuta. That is the tasya bhavastvatalav. Tasya bhavastvatalav. Tasya bhavastvatalav, which of course we have seen recently in great detail in the class. Tasya bhavastvatalav. So this pratyatal is being used. Then of course that's in the feminine, striyam bhashyate. So then it will be pratyata. So vastavyata means like thatness, that state, that hood. So vastavyata, if you take it in this meaning that we have seen so far, the state of, or thatness of, the necessity or the appropriateness of doing the action of dwelling. It's a clumsy form, to be very honest with you. So vastavyata will be the state of, the condition of that the action of dwelling is to be done. Okay, what's the other choice? The other choice is that, remember our friend, which is Kritya Luto Bahulam. Kritya Luto Bahulam. It says that this Kritya Pratyaha and Pratyaya Lut can be used in variety of senses. Not only the ones which they are confined to. We just saw that this Pratyaya Tavyat is the Kritya Pratyaya. It can be used only Bhava Karmanoho. And because it's a Karmaka Dhatu, we said Bhave. But is there any other way out? We can use this bahulam. In fact, there's a vartikam here. There's a vartikam here which says, so be ready for this before we move on. The kritya pratyaya, we can bhojanam. So bhojanam. So this is kritya, this is pratyaya lyut. Lyut comes also in either in bhave or it comes is karnadikarana yoscha. Okay. Now bhojanam is when you say it's food that which is fit to be eaten. So that which is eaten, so I shouldn't say fit, I'm sorry. That which is eaten. The bhojanam is not the act of eating. It's not that by which you eat. It is not in which you eat. It is that which is eaten. So bhujyate iti bhojana. So how do we get that meaning? Kat bahulam. So the kritya pratyaya, the potential participles, as well as lyut, can be used in variety of senses. Okay. So now there is actually a specific vartikam here, which says that Vase tavyat kartari nicha. So vasa can be used, the tavyat pratyaya can be used kartari. So we just saw 3, 4, 70 says that tayoreva krityakta kadarthaha. 3, 4, 70. It can be only used bhava karmanoho. So any kritya pratyas only can be used in the passive. But then the Vartikam says that for following dhatu vas, we can use tavyat kartari. We also say it should be a nit pratyaya. So we get the form vasatiti vastavyaha. So we should get vastavyaha. The pratyaya becomes a nit, that means vartikam. So this vartikam will give the form vastavyaha. So vasatiti vastavyaha. So vastavyaha is one who dwells, the dweller. The person who dwells, or the thing or person which dwells. So it should become vastavyaha. But this is all in the area of bahulam. I think we can use this bahulam, or we can use this vartikam without the nitya. Without nitya, and we can say vasatiti vastavyaha. Vastavyaha. And then it should be quite simple. Tasya bhava vastavyata. So this is a resident. So vastavya now becomes a resident. And then his state is residence. We can make it rest. This works pretty nicely. Once we accept this bahulam, and once we take it kartari, we have vartikam here, but the vartikam requires to make it nit. We can ignore that nit part of it on the basis of bahulam and make it vasatiti vastavyaha, and then tasya bhavaha. So vastavya is a resident, one who resides. Then his state, that becomes residence. So vastavyata now becomes residence. That becomes utasya bhavastvatalo. So this becomes vasaha. So this is now you see how these complications are. Let's see what the commentator says. The commentator says is vastavyatam is vasam prati, straightforward. Another commentator says vastavyatam is vasam prati. But in Govindaraj, this tika by Govindarajaha, Bhushana tika, he makes more grammatical points. He makes more grammar points, which is a good thing. They all have different flavors. And there he says, what does he say? He says, vastavyatam vasitvam. He said vasitvam. So vasi is a dweller. Vasitvam. So he's taking it like we have taken it. So vasati iti vastavyaha. And then tasya bhavaha. So he has vasit. So vasin pradipadikam. Vasi is one who dwells also. So vasitvam. The state of a dweller means state of a resident means residence. So I think Govindaraja Tika is accepting what we have said. So this is the complication of Ramayanam. You see, it is not going to be like 1, 2, 3 steps like that. You have to make some. So first thing you can do, if you don't want to go through all these complications, you can accept the Tika and say vastavyatam is vasaha. Sorry, vastavyata is vasaha, which is what all commentators give. You can accept it and move along. But if you want to test the Vyakaranam and just have some fun with it, we know that the Kritya Pratyas are to be used. So basically what I remember from this discussion is that remember the fact that the Kritya Pratyas are to be used tayoreva, bhavakarmanoho eva. But then also remember along with that is that Kritya Luta Bahulam. Sometimes you're allowed to make some concessions. This Kritya Pratyaya, Lut Pratyaya. So we're trying to make one here, because otherwise what will become? It will become that the act of dwelling is fit to be done, and then thatness. I don't think it makes perfect sense to me. And again, looking at the commentary and I looked at this thing probably for a long time. I couldn't find anything better than this. And again, looking at the commentary, vasitvam, I think we are on the right track, so we can make this. And this may not be the only way to look at this word, but this is the one which I think makes, particularly the Vartikam is there. Only thing is that the Vartikam has nitya. So we can ignore that part of it. We can do that. The last thing is puraskrita. Yes.
Yeah, we are talking about bhojanam.
Yes, bhojanam.
Karanam also is in the same category, right? Karanam.
No, karanam is an instrument. So kriyate anaya iti karanam. Anena kriyate. That by which something is done. That is fine. But that we can use this one. We can use the karanadi karanayoscha. So karanam can be doing. That is bhave. That means action. So kritihi karanam. Karanam is doing. So like panchi karanam.
But what happens when you derive karanam?
Oh no, karanam guna sangosya. So karanam is that it will be a causative form. So karyate. Aniniti ka. So that may be someone is made to do something. That is the cause. See that ka, the dhatu kru. I think there you have to first put the hetumati nich, make it kari. Then to kari, you can put that. So it will be instead of kriyate anena, which is karanam, we get karyate anenati karanam. So that by which somebody is made to do something. So that also will be fine. We don't need bahulam for that. I think we can use the karana adhikarana yoscha. That will work. Only thing, one is hetumati, one is shuddha dhatu. So that we don't need. But there will be other places. I think in our case, I think we can use this from bahulam. The last thing is that the word puraskrita. This one we have seen in the class before. This is when we looked at the section of I think, let me see, we have seen this in the class before. I just copied this from prior class. Okay, so puraskrita. So here is that purovyayam. So purovyayam, so 1467. You know this section that we have seen about the pradeyaha, visarga kriya yoge, gatischa, and then below that we have all these sutras, which is the Uryadi Chvida Chascha and so on. And the Purovyayam. So Puras, which is an Avyayam. Puras, the Avyayam Puras can be used as a Gati. Means like a prefix to a verb. Prefix to a verb. So Puras means in front. Puras Karoti means she places in the front. So like Purohitaha means the Hita is from Dhatu Dha. Placed in front. Purohita is a priest. One who placed Purohita, priest. In fact, how about that in English? Purohita, priest. Anyway, so Purohita is one who's placed in front. So he is the one who does the puja, whatever, so he's in front. This Puras basically is like not Upasarga. Upasarga is only Pradaya Kriya Yoge, which is a Gati Sanya. Now what happens is that then what about the Sandhi rules now? And that sutram is like Puraskritya, so it's 1467. And we have derived this form. If you go back and practice your notes, we have did this form Puraskritya. 68340 comes says Namas Purasor Gatyoho Gatisanyayor Etayor Visargasya Saha Kupvoh Parayoho. So when this Puras, which has a Gatisanya, that Visarga, of course, the Visarga will come by Sasajusho, Ruho, then Karavasana, your Visarjaniyaha, which is followed by the Ka Varga or Pa Varga. Means Ka, Kha, Pa, Pha. Visarga only comes Khari. Means Karavasana Yoho, in this case Khari. So even though it says Kupoho, it means Kakare, Kakare, Pakare, Pakare, Vapare. So right now we have Puraskru. So first we get, of course, Puras is an Avyam. So we bring a default Pratyaya Su, Avyada, Supaha, Supluk, Sasajusho, Ruho, Anubandha Lopaha, Karavasana Visarjaniyaha, and now normally we should have had what? We should have had Kupoha Kaspaucha. So we should have had the Pakshika Jivva Mulyaha, Purah Krataha. But instead of that, so what we should have had is that, like we say, Harish Karoti and so on, we should have had this one. We should have had Kupoha Kaspaucha. But instead, we get Namaspurosor Gatyayoho. We get this Sakara Dishaha. Puraskrita. Puraskrita is placed in front. So what we have is that, so these are two rules. It is 1467. Puraskrita is the Gatisanya. And then by 8340, that Visarga Puras when followed by Kavarga, Pavarga, instead of becoming the, in this case, Jiva Muli or Visarga, it becomes a Sakaraha. So we get the Puraskrita. Now, of course, Gati Samasaha, Kugati Pradayaha, Kugati Pradayaha, Kugati Pradayaha. I should put that here. I mean, I'm not putting all the steps in every folder, so Kugati, it will take us a long time otherwise. Kugati Pradayaha. So, and of course, the feminine top, Ajadya Tashta, Akasama Dirgha. So, means what it means here is that because you supply because I have been favored, I have been honored by your affection. So meaning becomes that those defects which were narrated by you with regard to residence in the forest, know them to be nothing other than actually blessings, good qualities, because I have been honored by your love. I am a recipient of your love. Okay, so I thought this was a difficult form, Vastavyata, and there's some grammar. Okay, next shloka says that next shloka is very straightforward, all Prathama Bahochanam. So Mrugaha Simha Gajashchaiva Shardulaha Sharabhas Tatha Srumarashchaiva Ye Chanye Vanacharinaha. You will take second one with that. Adrishtapura Rupatvat Sarve Te Tavaragava Rupam Drishtwapasarpeyus Tava Sarvehi Bibhyati Mrigas Simha Gajaschaiva Shardula Sharabhas Tatha Chamarasru Marashchaiva Ye Chanye Vanacharinaha Adrishtapura Rupatvat Sarve Te Tavaragava Rupam Drishtwapasarpeyus Tava Sarvehi Bibhyati. The first part is straightforward. Okay, first of all, what is Tingantam Padam? Is Apasarpeyuhu. Apasarpeyuhu, srup, like a serpent, sarpati, the English word serpent, right? Srup is to kind of move along, to kind of glide along, to crawl along. So srup, so sarpati. So now, if you look at dhatu partha quickly, we can show the dhatu. Apasarpeyuhu is a vidiling prayagaha. First of all, you see the pratyaya shap has come here, like bhaveyuhu. So again, we won't derive all the forms here, but if you want to do some homework, you can go online and look at the sutram jer jus. Dhatu srup is over here. Srup gatau vadigana sarpati. So sarpati, so sarpeyuhu is like bhaveyuhu. So there, of course, we got the jer jus. So then so we have the atoye yaha and jus. So let's take the form bhaveyuhu. So if you want to go online and do some practice, you can look at the sutram jer jus, which is said to you many times. These tiptas G are only defaults. They're on default. So when this G pratyaha comes in place of ling, then it takes the jus adeshaha. Jer jus. So it is anuvritti of lingaha is coming out. Lingaha. So jer jus. So 34108 is a sutram. 34108. Let me see if quickly I can show you 34108 maybe. There are a lot of examples here, but some of them might be a little bit old now. So I don't know if you can. Let me try anyway. Jejus. In fact, we can go so bruyuhu. How about let's take pateyu? How about this one? Pateyuhu. Same steps as this one. So here what happens is that this is srup dhatu. So I add with the ling pratyaya, anubandha lopaha, ji, and jer jus, anubandha lopaha by, you can get yasut agamaha, yasut prasipadeshu dhatu nicha, adyantu takitau, then anubandha lopaha, this ukara is uchararthaha, then halantyam tasya lopaha, then by chutu tasya lopaha, the chakara gets its sanya. Then by navibhaktau tusmaha, sakara does not get its sanya. So become yas plus us. In the meanwhile, shap. In our case, we'll get the guna adeshaha by pugandala bhupatasya cha uran raparaha becomes sarpa. So instead of patha, we have sarpa. Then patha, in this our case, sarpa plus iya by atoye yaha. Atoye, adantamangam, sarpa. Then what is this yas becomes iya. Now ad gunaha. And then sasiju shoruho karavasana visajaniya sarpeyo. So you want to practice, you can look at this example pateyo. There will be many others like that. So basically apasarpe means to move away, to run away, to move away, to move aside. So simple sentence is that mrgadayaha apasarpeyuhu. that the antelopes, the deer, and the lions, and the tiger, the elephants and the tigers, the Sharabha, and all these are some mythological beasts. So Sharabha, it says, look at the commentary, Sharabhaha Ashtapadavantaha Mrugavisheshaha. There are supposedly some beasts which have 8 legs. Srimaraha is Gavayaha. There are some like wild oxen. This is Gavayaha, like wild cattle. Gavayaha. So these are some names of some animals. And Vanacharin. So Vane Charati Tachilaha Vanacharin. Sutram which I see many times is Supyajato Vinistachilye. Supyajato. In fact, just the other day in our Thursday class, we saw this back to back. We saw this in 3 shlokas, I think, 2-3 shlokas. We've done this many times. We saw here, right here we saw it. So, Vane Charati, Tachilaha. So, I think here we had in the Raghuvamsha Kavyam, just used it, we had it here itself. Here we had it, here, I think Sutta, where it is. I'm sorry. Here it is. Deva Sutta Bhuja Lambin. So Alambin. Say Vanacharin. So you take Vana plus Ni plus Char plus Nini. So that is 3278. Nini. So Supya Jato. Any sup is the Upapadam. Don't forget that this is Adhikara of Tatra Upapadam Saptami Stham 3192. So Supi is Upapadam. As long as your Sup is Upapadam, it doesn't have to be Karma. In our case, it is Vane, is Saptami, Adhikaranam. And then you can use Pratyar Nini with a Dhatuho, Tachila. So Tachilya means one who habitually dwells in the forest, not one who goes to the forest just once in a while, but one who habitually dwells over there. So we can get Vana plus Ni plus Chara plus Nini. And when the Lopahachutu Upadesha Ranasika It, Upadesha Janasika It. And then of course we'll get the Atopadhaya becomes Charin, Vanacharin. Of course, in the meanwhile you get Sup. Look over here. When the Sup Vanacharin. So when you practice, you can look at this. Of course, first of all, you have to use the the Upapadam. I think before starting any compound formation, you have to be clear that which sutram from 2.1 or 2.2 you are using. Upapada Samasa, the sutram is 2.2.19, which is Upapadam Ating. And then you go to chapter 3 in the Adhikara of Tatra Upapadam Saptamistam from 3.192 onwards and see which dhatus can take which pratyaha when what kind of Upapadam is present. In this case it says that Supi, any Supa Upapadam, Ajatau should not be a Jati Vachaka Shabda like Brahmana Kshatriya like that. Ninihi Tachilye, any dhatu can be Pratya Nini as long as Tachilye. So we got Vanacharin. Can use 72116 Atopadhayaha. So now what we have is that Ete Mrgadayaha Vanacharinaha. So all these beasts who dwell in the forest, Ye Chanye, Ye Chanye Vanacharinaha, and other beasts who dwell in the forest, Apasarpe Yuhu. Then He Raghava, Tava Rupam Drishtva Apasarpe Yuhu, Sarpe Yuhu. So they should run away, seeing your form. And why is that? Is that first of all you have a ye te connection. So ye Bhagadayaha Anye Chavanacharinaha te sarve tava rupam drishtva apasarpe. You again look at the pratyaktva over here. Same thing. Samanakritakriya purvakale. So who is running away is also seeing. Understand that. 3.4.21. Who running away is always seeing. Is also seeing. Because the two actions have to be done by the same doer. That's why Pratyaktva immediately tells you what kind of structure you have in the sentence. So all these and others also who dwell in the forest, who always dwell in the forest, they would run away having seen your form. And then we have one thing hanging over here, adrishta pura rupatvat. Okay, and king comes in Bhagavad Gita, adrishta pura mrishitosmi drishtva bhayena cha prabhititam manome tadeva me darshya deva rupam prasida devesha jagan nivas. In fact, Ramayana and Bhagavad Gita as a good combination. If you know Gita well, then Ramayana at least 50, I would say about 50%. I mean, it's hard to say percent wise, but you know a good part of Ramayana already. Now it's a matter of practice. For example, we just looking at it from adrishta purupatvat. So we already know from Bhagavad Gita. Adrishta puram mrishitosmi drishtva bhayena cha prabhititam manome tadeva me darashya deva rupam prasida devesha jagan nivasa. So adrishta puram. This is an interesting compound. Is first of all na drishtam adrishtam. That's straightforward. 226 the pratyaya nyai, which is it's a nyai samasa. Sunse pratyaya nipata avyam. I'm sorry, avyam nyai forms a nyai tatpur samasa. Nyai means it's a negation. So like abrahmana. So adrishtam. So na drishtam is adrishtam. Yeah, that part is easy. And then of course by na lopo nanyaha 6373. Nyakara goes in halantyam, the ending nyakara goes away adrishtam. But then what kind of samasa is this adrishta purvam? Purvam is like an adverb of adrishtam. So purvam adrishtam adrishta purvam. Not seen before. The meaning is straightforward. That's the one thing about these compounds, which are these kind of miscellaneous compounds. This compound is neither bahuvrihi nor dvandva nor vibhavaha nor tatpurushaha. What is called as a kevala samasaha, sahasupa, supsupa samasaha. It's a miscellaneous compound because the sutra which we have seen, also we saw I think in the Raghuvamsha Kavyam, I think we saw last week, is that we have to find this, I mean we have seen all the time, you have to find a sutram in 2.1 or 2.2 and there really isn't one. So we take this sahasupa, we take it as a vidhi sutram. In addition to being a adhikara sutram, we take it as a vidhi sutram. So Anuvati of sup is coming down. So sup samarthena supasaha samasyate. This is kevala samasaha. So this is so a sup can compound the related sup. It doesn't say in some specific meaning or condition. It's just a general meaning. So when the compounds don't fit in any of the remaining things, we make it into a sahasupa or a kevala samasaha. This is one of them. Adrishta purvam, because purvam is an adverb to this thing. This adverb samasa is, this is not any of the categories. So now let's come to Ramayanam now. What do we have here now? Adrishta pura rupatvat. Remove the tvat. First of all, the at is the ending, panchama ending. Cha nisinya saminasyaha. So the prajapati is adrishta pura rupatva. The tva, we can strip off the tva. Tasya bhavastva talau. Tasya bhavastva talau. So that is the property of the state or thatness. Then what you have, adrishta pura rupa. Adrishta pura we already said, which is this is a purva is an adverb here. Adrishta pura means basically is adrishta qualified by purva. So not seen before. Then the whole thing will be an adjective for rupa. So adrishta purvam rupam. It's a form which has not seen before. But now we'll make it a bahuvrihi compound. Because what we'll do is that all of these mrugaha, simha, ityadayaha, te sarve adrishta purva rupaha. Because they are such that they have not seen your form before. So let's look at the commentary for a second. Is that it says that adrishta purvam tavakam rupam. You can say take this one. Adrishta purvam rupam sarupam yaihi. So by whom your form has not been seen before. Tesham bhavaha. Then tasya bhavastvatalo 51119. Then tasmadhetoho. Because of that. Tasmadheto is a panchami. So first we make a bahuvri up to here. Is it like this? I mean, before that we can make adrishta, as in we just talked about that, Naitat Purushaha, then make adrishta purva as a sahasupa, miscellaneous compound, then make a bahuvrihi as adrishta purvam rupam equals swarupam yaihi te. So by whom, they are those by whom your form, and the tava is also hanging around here. The same thing we did. This is gamakatvat samasaha. This tava should be inside here. Should be so twadrupa. So twadadusturu purvatvat. So that twad is become tava outside. We connect it inside over here. So this tava. There are two of them. So because they are such that that your form has not been seen by them, and then the tva is tasya bhava, tesham bhava, that state, and then on account of the fact, so tasmadhetoho, because of they are such, on account of this property, that they are such that they have not seen your form before. I mean, English is sound very clumsy in English, but this twat is a very famous, very common kind of construct. Like, so we can say, like, akrita buddhitvat comes in Bhagavad Gita. Let's look at Gita for 1 second. You can see these combinations. As always, keep Bhagavad Gita always as your home base. And then we will say twat. Let's see. Twat. Okay, yes, smart. Twat. It should be here. Sukshmatvat. On account of subtleness. So it's account of somethingness. Okay, that's the thing. On account of somethingness. So sukshmatvat tadavijneyam. This Brahma cannot be known because it is on account of its subtlety. On account of subtlety, it cannot be known. So sukshmatvat. And nirgunatvat, same thing. On account of the fact that it has this property of being without qualities. Nirgunatvat. So on account, the tvat is the tvat hetoho. Tasmad heto. By the way, there in hetoho, the sutram we are using is, see, any vibhakti assignment we have to make in 2.3, and the sutram is hetavu. Tritiya is prescribed, but then comes this one, vivasha gunestayam. So this panchami also can be used. So 2.3.25 is hetoho. Nirgunatvat, on account of the state of being devoid of qualities. So that is it. Again in Gita. And then comes nirmalatvat, on account of purity, absence of dirt, purity, nirmalatvat. Then comes sattvat, I think it comes in Gita. Give me 1 second. Yeah. Akrita buddhitvat. So because, again, same thing, because of the state of having intellect which is not being refined, on account of the property of an unrefined intellect. Anyway, just twat comes out of places. So on account of somethingness. So here it is that adrishtapur rupatvat, on account of the fact that this property or the state of they are in the state such that they have not seen your form before. So all of them will move away, O Raghava. Having seen your form, you put this tava back here again. Tavarupam drishtva. Having seen your form, O Rama. Of course, Raghava we understand. Ragoho. Apatyapaman Raghavaha. If you've done this in the class many times before. So this having seen your form, they will all run away because of the fact that because the fact that they are such that they have not seen your form before. And then this last part is sarvehi bibhyati. Because bibhyati is dhatu nibhi bhaye, is to be afraid. So bibhyati is, this is this famous uh, uh, this one, Vajagovindam. Bharya bibhyati tasmin kaye. Bharya bibhyati. Very confusing shloka. Bibhyati is bahuvachanam. Ekvachan is bibheti is ekavachanam. Well, bibhyati is bahuvachanam. Because here adabhyastat. So dhatu is, this form I didn't put in the document all this form because we have now done all this practice many times. If you want to practice this, again go to the website, there will be a lot of examples. So this dhatu is bhi bhaye. So this one, and then when we do this is in the so we get dhatu bhi plus pratyaya ji, and then katri shap, then yotyadibhyashluh. Yotyadibhyashluh is get the shlu elision. Yotyadibhyashluh, and then shlau. Shlau we get the abhyasaha. Of course, in the abhyasa we get rasvaha, and then abhyasi charcha. So b, bhi plus g. Now normally jo antaha would have come. So I'm sorry. First of all, we're looking at this sutram shlau. Sutram is shlau, and so abhyasaha, and then we get rasvaha, abhyasi charcha, and then normally you should have had jontaha. Instead of that, adabhyastat. Ubhyabhyastam. Sutri Ubhyabhyastam says that bibhi gets the abhyasta sanya by Ubhyabhyastam. And then adabhyastat is following an abhyastam mangam. This jakar of pratyaya becomes at and not ant. Not ant is become at by adabhyastat. So now what do we have? We have bhi ati. Now normally you should have had yan sandhi, but then you should have had iyangadeshaha by, of course, yan sandhi by ikonachi. Then iyangadesh will overrule that because of achishta dhatu bhruvam yor yang vangau. And finally, anyway, adabhyastat is over here, and then finally will come eranekacho. Eranekacho sanyoga purvasya. So if you have ehe, so if you have a ivarnantamangam, anekachangam, asanyoga purvasya, then we don't do the yang adesha, go back to yan. So finally 6482. So vibhyati. Maybe I didn't put this in the document. I thought it's quite straightforward, but maybe I can put that one. So 714 and 6482. 714 and 6. We want to do some practice. Okay. Vibhyati, and it comes in Bhajagovindam. So it's Bharyaha Vibhyati. So the wives are afraid because you don't think Bharya is plural. So then we got Vibhyati is actually the plural form. So adabhyastat and eranekacho sanyoga purvasya. So now what it means that there's one problem here, by the way. The problem is that you can, why this, look at, we're putting this tava back over here. Tava adrishtapur rupatvat. And then tava rupam drishtva apasarpeyo. But the placement of tava is not like that. It's placed after. Now why can't we just say tava sarve bibhyati? They're all afraid of you. In English it would sound very nice to say tava sarve bibhyati. The problem is that to get shashti, which dhatu bhi, is going to be difficult. Because the fact that it says when you make any vibhakti assignment, we have to look at 2.3, and there we have 2.3. It says there should be panchami bhayena, panchami bhayena, panchami bhayena. Panchami bhayena. Panchami bhayena. So that sutra will unfortunately apply here. So begin tvat, not tava bibhyati. So padane panchami pang paribhaye. Panchami bhayena. No, I'm sorry. No, that's the wrong sutra. Panchami bhayena this is the Samas Vidhayaka Sutra. I'm sorry. Apang paribhe panchami apadane panchami enapad and shishyanadare. Okay, I think what we'll do then is we have to go back to this one. We have to go to the karaka adhikara. So here we have to see karake apadanam. Then bhitra arthanam bhaya hetuho. So that from which, you know, first look at 1425. So this is the right sutra. I'm sorry. This is the right sutra. Bhitra arthanam bhaya hetuho. That from which somebody is afraid. Chorad bhayam. Chorad bibheti. Taskarad bibheti. Vyakaranad bibheti. He is afraid of Vyakaranam. And so on. So this, if you should get the apadana sanya, and then apadana should get panchami. So this is by 1425, get apadana sanya, and then after that, when we come to 2.3, we should get the apadane panchami. So 1425, look at quickly over here, 1425, 1425, 1425, 1425. So that's the problem here. The problem is, it would nice to say everybody is afraid of you, but it is not like that. It doesn't work out like that, because the problem is the tava is shashti. So we look at this bhitrarthanam bhaya hetuho is bibhetyarthanam trayatyarthanam cha dhatunam prayoge bhayo hetuho yaha tatkarakam apadana sanyakam bhavati chaurebhyo bibheti. So now we have a problem, because now we cannot say, tava bibhyati sarve. Should be, tvattaha or tvat. So that is why we have to put this thing back here now. We have to put this one tava as back, tava rupam drishtva, and then tava adrishta rupa adrishta purupatvat. That's the problem. To be very honest with you, this is a shashti which has been used in place of Panchami. Instead of doing all the gymnastics. In fact, in the very beginning of Ramayanam, in Saturday class, we read the Bala Ramayanam. You remember like about the very second, third shloka of that, which is a famous shloka, is the Kasya Vibhyati Devascha Jatasrosha Sanyukte. So this is in the Bala Ramayanam. Bala Ramayanam is the first chapter of Ramayanam, okay? The first chapter of Ramayanam, shloka number 4, Chaturtha shloke. Kasya Vibhyati Devascha Jatarosha Sanyuge. How is Kasya has been used? Because same thing here. Tava Bibhyati. Kasya Bibhyati Devascha. So then they also did the same thing, which says Kasya Bibhyati Devascha Jatarosha Sanyuge. Then make it Kasya Sanyuge Bibhyati. So somehow you have to connect the Shashti somewhere else. I mean, if you be really honest about it, this Shashti is really irregular, okay? Should be a Panchami. That's a really honest answer. But if you want to somehow make it justified, you move this tava back over here, and then make it, Vyakarana Drishtya Shuddham. Vyakarana Drishtya Shuddham, make it like that. But it is really a bit of a problem. So way that the Padanvaya has been done, the Padanvaya, the way it has been, in fact I put a document here, the Padanvaya, because of this problem. See, this is Ramayanam. This I told you, this is Ramayanam. It's not going to be that easy. You have some problem like this. So the way it says tava, adrishtapurvam rupam yaihi, tesham bhava tasmadhetoho, tava adrishtapurupatvat, and then, as I said, you have to make it tava rupam drishtva apasarpeyuhu. So that's the way you have to make it. It says tava adrishtapurupatvat. Reading from the commentary now. Adrishta purvam rupam sarupam yaihi tesham bhavaha tasmadhetoho te tvat pariganitaha. Te means all those which have been mentioned by you in the prior shloka. Mrgadayaha sarve mrgadayaha tavarupam drishtva apasarpeyuho. Then now, okay, we did that, so we somehow got rid of the tava. We put it there. But now what about this? Sarve bibhyati. It would be nice to say because they're all afraid of you. That would be a simple meaning, isn't it? But then we got to put the tava back here, so we lost the tava now. So what do we do with this now? Then what we have to do is that we have to say that again the same thing. Tava rupam drishtva, you've supplied here also. Tava rupam drishtva, sarvehi bibhyati. Having seen your form, They're all afraid. I mean, this is, as I said to you, this is, if you really want to try to somehow justify Vyakaranam, you can do that. But if you want to just accept the Shashti in place of Panchami, then what you can simply say is that all of them which you have mentioned here, because they have not seen your form, they will run away. Because, indeed, because he can be taken as Yatohi, because everybody is afraid of you. But if you want to make it Vyakaranam wise, we have to say that because they are such that they have not seen your form before, they will run away having seen your form. And indeed, having seen your form, everybody is afraid. Make it like that. Let's see what Gita Press says. Gita Press says that antelopes is mrugaha, is deer, antelopes, lions, simhaha. Of course, all the sandhis here. I'm not going through that again. This is the Hali Sarvesham and all that. And even so is chaiva, cha-eva, elephants, gajaha, tigers, shardulaha, and sharabhas, which is a legendary animal with 8 legs, and said to be more powerful than a lion. And then chamaraha is yaks, as well as gayals, which is these wild oxen, chaiva, and many other anyecha, beasts that roam about in the forest, vanacharinaha, are all the survey sure to run away. Apasarpe yuho, maybe sure, maybe like a he, maybe somewhere, probably a he, run away. On seeing is drishtva, your is tava, countenance is rupam, since you supply that this may be the he, since they have never have never seen your face before. Adishtarupa purvatvat. Since is, the since is this Panchami ending over here. Since, that's a hetoho, tasmad hetoho. And because, and this is the he now, and because all are afraid of you. See, they say all are afraid of you. So Gita has accepted the fact that this tava is really tvattaha tvattvat. So because, Panini says, Shashti Sheshe. So Shashti has a license to be used in a variety of circumstances. And Valmiki uses Shashti. Valmiki uses Shashti like that. Even though technically speaking that we should have this Sutra 1425, Bhitrarthanam bhajahetu, Chorat bibeti, not Chorisya bibeti. But here we have Tava bibeti, Bibhyati, so we accept that. It says all are afraid of you. So they didn't say all are afraid having seen your form. All are afraid of you. So they accept this Shashti as. So that's Ramayanam for us. We have to tackle these issues. Tvaya cha saha gantavyam maya gurujanajnaya tvadviyogena me rama tyaktavyam iha jivitam. Tvaya cha saha gantavyam maya gurujanajnaya tvadviyogena me rama tyaktavyam iha jivitam. There is not a single tingantam padam here really, but these participles function like a verb almost. For example, atra maya vastavyam. You can say bhavati, vartate, that you can always supply something like that. But it's almost a complete sentence. So even though we say ekating vakyam, but sometimes it is, adhyahartavyam. Spashtatvat no uchyate. It's very straightforward. So we don't always say bhavati, vartate, vidyate. We just say idam karyam maya kartavyam. I should do this job. And so on. Maya vaktavyam idam. I should say this. So then you don't say bhavati and all that, So here this is the same thing here because our strategy is to attach the tingantam padam. We don't have one here because these participles, in this case the pratyatavya is functioning like a verb almost, because it brings with it the sense of bhu or as or vrit, like that. So now we just saw in the prior verse. Okay, so this is straightforward shloka. Tvaya saha, and then the sutram is that sahayukte pradhane, is that with saha. the Tritiya Vibhakti is used. See, any Vibhakti assignment, you can practice these now. Any Vibhakti assignment, try to find a sutram in 2.3. In 2.3. And there we have Sahayukte Pradhane. Here it is, Sahayukte Pradhane. So that which is secondary. So I should go with you. So Putrena Saha Pita Agachati. When he comes with somebody. So somebody is coming. So I'm going. The father is coming, but he's coming with somebody. So, and when Saha is used in that secondary word, that who's coming with somebody else, that secondary fellow, Putrena Saha Pita Agachati, and so on. So this is Sahayukte Pradhane. So Toya is Tritiya, Toya Chasa, and is Gantavyam. It is to the action of going is to be done by me. We just saw the sutram right now in the class itself. We saw the sutram which is Tayoreva Krityakta Kadarthaha. This is used bhave. Right now we can take it as bhave. Because of course gam is a sakarmaka dhatu, so we don't have to like vanam gantavyam. You can supply vanam, you don't have to, and say Tvaya saha maya vanam gantavyam. The forest is to be gone to by me with you. In English the passive looks very clumsy. It is not accepted usage in English. In Sanskritam the passive is used a lot. You should say maya gantavyam, rather than saying this is gache, instead of saying gacheyam. Saying gacheyam, you should say maya gantavyam is much more idiomatic. Say, so I should go. So action of going is to be done by me. So we just saw sutram which says that Tayoreva Krityakta Kadarthaha. So these are used in the passive sense. So this part is straightforward. The action of going ought to be done. Action of going with you ought to be done by me. And Guru Janajnaya. So Guru Janaha. So Guravashchate Janashcha means the elders. Guru doesn't mean, Guru means like, heavy, important people. Like elders, basically, Guru Jana. Guru Jananam Ajna is the command of the elders. And this is probably Hetav. On account of, due to the command of the elders, I ought to go with you. Then Tvad Viyogaha. So Tvaya Viyogaha. Separation with you. Separation means separation. English we say from you. So it says Tvad-viyogena. So by or with separation from you. Me he Rama iha jivitam tyaktavya. Again, life should be given up. Life should be given up by me, O Rama. So on account of separation from you, then life should be given up by me. Technically speaking, I should commit suicide. I should give up my life. So without you, I should give up my life. So I should go with you as per the command of the elders. Without you, I should give up my life. The one interesting thing over here is that you have me and maya. So he says maya gantavyam. He says me taktyaktavya. Now what is going on over here? Why not maya tyaktavya? Because then we have maya gantavyam. It says me tyaktavya. Okay, so let's look at that for a second. Because me is mama in there. Okay, so me is mama tyaktavya. But why not maya? Okay, so again coming back to sutram which we just saw, tayoreva krityakta kadarthaha, the kritya pratyaya in the passive. And then the karta in the passive, because it's anubhita, doesn't connect with the verb. So then what happens is that we get 2.3.18, which says that kartakaranayo sthitiya. So titiya is used. Kartakaranayo sthitiya. But then what is shashti? Where did shashti come from then? So we just saw that, maya vastavyam, maya gantavyam, maya vaktavyam, maya bhoktavyam. Then how about the shashti? Because here what happens is that there is a sutram which we have seen. It says pratrikarmanoho kriti. When the krit pratyaya is used, then the karta or karma should take shashti. So wait a minute now. So then the shashti only should be coming in when tritiya is bumped out now, because we have shashti now. Because this pratyaya, we just talked about the fact the kritya pratyaha are the very first set of pratyaha which Panini takes, or when Panini mentions, after Panini starts krit the thing, then the first set is krityaha. So now by krityakarmanoha kriti, the action, the doer of that action should take shashti now. Because kriti, kartavya, krit pratyaya. So it should be then me, mama taktavyam, mama vastavyam, mama gantavyam. But then comes a special sutra. He says, krityanam kartariva. Is that when the kritya pratyayas are used, and then the doer, krityanam kartari, will only optionally take shashti. Vikalpena eva shashti bhavati. Pakshe tritiya. So krityanam kartariva. Okay, so one more time. Is that we have a kartari here, in this case Sita, means aham in this case, really aham. Sita is talking, so aham. And this is, we should have had Titya Bhakti by 2-3-18 because Kartakarana means Kartakaranayo Sthitiya, so Maya Gantavyam, etc. But then comes 2-3-65 and says Kartakarmanoha Kriti, Shashti is to be used. From 2-3-50, Anurutya of Shashti goes down to the 2 Apada Samaptehe. So then we are stuck with Shashti now. But then comes 2-3-71, Krityanam Kartariva. So then we can use mama kartavyam athva maya kartavyam idam karyam. This action is to be done by me, or it's fit to be done. In English we say by me, but here we can use shashti or we can use tritya. So sutram here is 2-3-71. Important thing is, as I mentioned too many times, if you remember 2-3-65, then you will find 2-3-71. You understand that? 2-3-60, remember 2-3-65, Kartakarmano. This is the pivotal sutram here, okay? One thing remember, we mentioned many times in the class previously, is that 2-3-65 is a very important sutram, which unfortunately is overlooked many times. Anytime Krit Pratyaya, when you have participle, Krit Pratyaya, means to the thing from 3193 onward, there are many of them. Then, in connection with that, the karma or the kartru should take shashti, not the dvitiya for the karma and not the tritiya or pratama for kartru, but shashti should come. But that has a very important nishedha over here, na lokamvyaya kalatatranam. And then we also have krityanam kartariva. So in addition to 2-3-69, 2-3-71 also is there. It says krityanam prayoge kartari va shashti. So it says bhavata kataha kartavyaha. Bhavataha kataha kartavyaha. The mat should be made by you, and the mat should be made kind of you. In English, it doesn't sound good in English, but so this is a sutram. We look at, so remember 2-3-65. If you remember that, then you'll understand that the shashti should have been used here. Then you go down and look at something down here. Normally we use 2-3-69. Important Nishya Sutra for that. Nalokavya nishtha kalartatvanam. But then comes Krityanam Kartariva. So if you want to do some homework, look at 2-3-71, and first of all look at 2-3-65. It says that mama, sorry, the typo here, I'm sorry. Mama atva maya chaktavyam jivitam. The jivitam. So that explains this too. This is a nice shloka, by the way. See Ramayana, how it is, I told you. Ramayana teaches you so much. So much. We only looked at 5 shlokas today. And how much we have learned? Just 5 verses. So yes.
I'm just wondering, earlier somewhere along the way we have discussed this, I have discussed this with you on Sanyastam Maya and Sanyastohum. Is that the same thing?
So Sanyastoham, is it what you said?
Yeah, Sanyastaha Aham, Sanyastoham.
That Aham is not the Karta there. So I have been. Oh, you mean Sanyastaha? Yes. You're looking at as Sanyastaha is okay.
Yeah, Sanyastaha Aham, Sanyastam Maya.
Sanyastam Maya. So that is in the Nishtha Pratyaya. There is not Kritya Pratyaya. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So that's a Nishtha Pratyaya. So that, but for that we have to use, as I said, 2-3-69. Nalokavya Nishtha. Like so Ramena Vali Hataha, right? So Ramena, we don't say Ramasya, because that Nishtha Pratyaya is used then we don't use shashti. Then we go back to the usual kartu karanayos tritiya to 318. So that is sanyastam maya. There is no choice, but here it is a choice here. So maya kartavyam, mama kartavyam. But when you say sanyastam maya, there's no choice. There's only maya, because we have to use 2, 3, 16, 9 there. Nishtha is mentioned there. Sanyastaha ayam can equal, you can either say there are two possibilities. Either I have been discarded, or you can make it kartari, and you can then go to 3472 and justify it that way as I have renounced. So that is, so depending on what kind of, on the context, on the usage, sanyasta aham is, you can either use 3472 and make aham as the karta, or aham is the karma and says that I have been discarded. So either way. And sanyastam maya, you have to use 2, 3, 69. So nishtha is mentioned. So there is no choice. There's only one form. Sanyastam maya only. But here we have kritya pratyaya. So that is now, and karta of that. So it's a nice look. I can remember this one. Toya cha saha gantavyam maya. Gurujanajnaya. And tadviyogena me rama tyaktavyam iha jivitam. Now jivitam here is not the, remember, the nishtha is ktaktavatu nishtha. It's a definition. It's a sanya. So pratyaktavatu gets the nishtha sanya. In whatever meaning it may be used, doesn't matter. But pratyakta and pratyaktavatu have nishtha sanya. That's a sanya. But the sutram nishtha, which we use in 3.2, what is being called as a past passive participle 3.2.102, that comes in bhutarthe, is nishtha, etc. The jivitam is not that. Jivitam is actually a neuter noun with napumsake bhavekta. You have to watch out for this. Like mama jivitam, So if you see a pratyakta being used in the neuter, singular, as a neuter noun, then don't jump like, balakasya hasitam, tasyaha jalpitam, and so on. These are all neuter nouns. So jivitam is life. Life, not lived. It is life. So life is a neuter, not jivanam. So your jivitam is same as jivanam. If you want to do some homework, you have to, so be careful of this. Be careful. Because you see nishtha pratyakta, and you don't jump to the conclusion this has to be 3.2.102 as a past participle. It is most of the time, but it doesn't have to be. And so you have to watch out. Particularly if you see a neuter noun, it may be a neuter noun. Of course, when you say Ramena Vali Hataha, that is a participle. That's straightforward. And most of the time it is. But be careful of this one. Be careful. See, because the thing is that if you take jivitam as a past participle, then it is a participle, is qualifying what then? There's nothing here. Doesn't make sense. So lived. So like hataha means killed, mataha means thought. So jivitam means lived. It is lived is not making any sense of it. This jivitam is, of the dhatu jiv, is a neuter noun. Okay. So this one is by this sutram, which is napumsake bhavektaha. Bhave, abstract. So jivanam is life, act of living, life. So it is, so jivitam. So that is this napumsake bhavektaha. So be careful of this. But the same pratyaktaha, which still has the nishtha sanya, of course it has. Nishtha is only a sanya, taktavatu nishtha. But this is not the past participle. This is not the past participle. It is bhave. It is a neuter noun. So please be careful about this. You see a neuter singular usage with the nishtha pratyaya, nishtha kta pratyaya. And if there's nothing to qualify, then be careful that this may be a neuter noun. The second thing is that, in fact, now that we're talking about that, in connection with this, you would say mama jivitam, not maya jivitam. Coming back to a topic which you just had, we were talking about this shashti being used, and there is this shashti sheshe, and the sutra which you want to use, and is that this might be a vartikam. Let me give you that. So you say that's another indication. You say balakasya hasitam. That is a neuter noun, as opposed to maya likitam. Now that is a past participle, because you look at the connecting Shashti or Tritiya with that. If Tritiya is being used, then that is the past participle. If Shashti has been used, then that is likely a neuter noun. Of course, it has to be neuter, has to be singular, so neuter noun. And this Tasya cha Vartamane, there is a Vartikam on 2367, and the time is running out. The Vartikam on 2367, but this is an important concept. It says that Napumsake bhave upasankhyanam. Napumsake bhave ktaha, when used, along with that Shashti should be used. Chatrasya hasitam. Mayurasya nrittam, the dance of a peacock, the laugh of the student. Kukilasya vyaratam, the cooing, that's the sound made by a cuckoo, and so on. Now, so that's what it is. So Jivitam is Napumsake bhave ktaha. I put in document here. Napumsake bhave ktaha 3314 114. Let's look at the translation now. It says that okay. This is number 5, right? Okay. It says I'm sorry. Okay. In pursuance to the order of your parents. He says your parents or elders. I said elders. So Guru Janajnaya. So Guravashchite Janashcha. So elders. And Tesha Majna. Then Taya. And it says Hetau Tritiya. On account of that. So in pursuance of, that is the Tritiya Hetau. The orders is the Ajna of your parents, they said. It's from the context of the elders. I too is cha. Must accompany you. See, in English you have to make it active, okay? It is to be gone by me with you. So it says, I too must accompany you. Into bracket, to the forest, in as much as I am your counterpart and cannot live apart. Everything is in brackets here. So we can say is that there is a Veda mantra which says, Ardho va esha atmano yat patni. So it is like in English, the wife is a half part of you. Ardho vai esha atmanaha. So this half of the self is the wife. So the wife is half of yourself. So anyway, so they're quoting that, and that's all the commentary. So it's put in the bracket, because I am your counterpart, cannot live apart from you. That's in the bracket. It says life in this world. So iha asmin loke jivitam must be cast away, tyaktavyam, by me. So in English we have to say by me, but we saw 2371. So it says me Shri Mama, in the event of separation from you, that is twadviyogena, on account of separation from you. Hey Rama, hey Rama. Okay, time is up. How about give some homework for the next couple of shlokas? So if you have the Gita Press book, please use that. If you have the commentary, you can use that also. And as I said, I'm trying to spend not too much time in shloka, but we have to do some Vyakaranam class. And Raman and Valmiki will challenge you. Valmiki will challenge you, because he will challenge these rules of Vyakaranam. So you have to be ready to defend yourself, except what Valmiki says, because he is the Adi Kavihi. So we have to, so he is the Rishi. So we have to accept. But this is the good thing with Valmiki. He will test you. He will not make it easy for you all the time. So you have to be ready with your Vyakaranam, form Vyakaranam. And then you have to test what Valmiki says. Okay, so time is up. Let me just look at this thing. Nahi tvam, nahi mantos samipastham api shakropi raghava. Suranam ishvaraha shaktaha. Pradarshyitum ojasa. Couple of homeworks we already done in the class is pradarshyitum, is to terrorize. This tumun pratyaya we have seen. There are, if you can practice for homework, if you have time, there are these 2-3 rules which are comes in different sections, which makes tumun a little bit hard to remember. This sutram is tumun valo kriyayam kriyarthayam, like bhoktum agacchati, etc. Then we have tumun in the sense of dashtum ichhamite rupam, Bhagavad Gita. So there is, this is 33158, samanakritakeshu tumun. Icchartheshu samanakritikeshu tumuns. I want to do something. I'm gantum ichchami, bhoktum ichchami, drashtum ichchami, likatum ichchami, ityadaya. And then comes 3.4.65, which says Shaka, Drishagnya, Gla, Ghata, Rabha, Labha, Krama, Saharhastyarteshu, Saharhastyarteshu tumun. In connection with, see, this is the Upapadam. Tatra Upapadam Saptamistham. So when these are in Upapadam, in connection with these, then tumun can be used. So that's what we have. So for homework, 3.4.65, Shaktaha. You look at Bhagavad Gita, chapter 11, last few verses, you'll find a similar kind of usage. So this Pradarshyatum is that one. Secondly, this Dhrish Dhatu is famous in Vyakaranam. Vyakarana Shastra Prasiddoyam Dhatu. Because the fact that this Gana, we have seen in this in the Saturday class, this Gana, if you want to do some homework, Adhrishadva. These Dhatus from this Dhatu Yuja in the Churadi Ganaha, up to Dhatu Dhrish, Adhrishad, up to Dhrish, they take the niche only optionally. So it become Dharshitum and Dharshayitum. So you look at this Gana Sutram for homework, Adhrishadva. Adhrishadva. Second homework. And then another problem here. Here's Valmiki again. Another problem here is that this api comes twice. And to be very honest with you, it is going to be a little bit difficult. You can try. So maybe next time you can tell me what you come up with. How this api is coming twice over here is Tvat Samipastham api doesn't make too much sense. Is that even Indraha will not be able to terrorize me, even though he is the Lord. And we can make it like this. Even Indraha, even though he is the Lord of all the gods, he is not capable of, if I am close to you, he cannot terrorize me. He cannot shake me. He cannot threaten me by his power. So api, same thing. You have to put api two places. And the way it's placed, you have to move it. You have to move it forward. So try to place the api in the right places. Because if you take it, Tvat Samipastham api, so it is Asya Shabdasya Samipastham. Samipastham api. This api is actually placed close to this Tvat Samipastham. Even though close to you, that will not make any sense. So push the apis forward. That's what we have to do. So even Indraha, even though he is ruler of the gods, Ishvara, he's the ruler of the gods, he cannot terrorize me as long as I'm close to you. So, okay, let's stop this. Time is running out. So please do some homework. I hope next time we can go a little bit faster. We'll try to take 6 or 7 shlokas, but if you can do some homework, it will also be helpful. Okay, one more homework. I just saw one. This prajna. Look at the prajnadikanaha. It is the swarte. Okay, last homework. Swarte. Anpratyaha swarte. We have seen rakshas is rakshasaha. Manas is manasam. Bandhu is bandhavam, and so on. This prajnadikanaha. So prajnadi. So that is the for homework prajna eva prajna. So 5.4.38. Okay, the prajna. So look at that. I just noticed that one. Okay, let's stop with that. Ramo Rajamanis Sada Vijayate Ramam Ramesham Vaje Ramena Bhiyata Nishachara Chamu Rama Tasmai Namaha Rama Nasti Parayanam Parataram Ramasya Dasosmyaham Rame Chittale Sada Bhautame Bhora Mama Rama Rameti Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattuliyam Rama Nama Varanane Shri Rama Nama Varanana Ondama Iti.